Alright, hold on. I'm gonna turn this brightness down. Alright. We're back. We are back. We are 5 days out officially from the first show of the season, the first show ever. Man, I'm glad to be doing this video. I'm glad to be here, because man, I just forget sometimes how like much I just truly enjoy, you know, filming these videos and doing YouTube. Like I say I love it, but then like I just don't film the videos, and I haven't been doing my due diligence, and I honestly think it's kind of led me to some of the mindset, the shift towards maybe like a negative mindset over the last couple weeks, just because I'm not doing the things that I love doing. I'm not building the confidence by sticking with what I say, right? And that's kind of what I wanted to talk about, you know, within this first part of the video. I'm gonna film today. It's a leg day. It's peak week training, so we're still pushing hard, but it's not gonna be like, all right, all-time failure, like, you know, going 3 hours in the gym like we would be in the off season, right? So it's a little bit more of some back off sets, a little bit of RIR training, which, you know, I don't, you know, love RIR training, but we're going to do it anyway, just so we don't, you know, go into the show with any injuries. But that's going to be the plan for a day. It's a little lower volume. We're just kind of trying to get like a pump while stimulating the legs. And then, man, it's getting real. You know, yesterday, the last couple days, we've been pushing lower calories. And training. This is my 5th day of training in a row, because we had 2 days of normal training last week and we switched to peak week training. So although it's not been like full intensity workouts 5 days in a row, it's still 5 days in a row in training, and my body's definitely getting there as far as fatigue goes. But that's like in the back burner. We're not like worried about that. It's more about just pushing through right now. We got to drop some water off of the physique. What was I had to delete a bunch of footage because my SD card ran out. But we got to drop off some water, and, you know, bring a tighter look, because we pushed up food really high last week to see how full we could get me. But now we're just trying to pull down and see how close we can get to that weight cap, if we can get the weight cap. Otherwise, we'll have to bump into the heavyweight for bodybuilding. But with that being said, man, I seeing the plan today. It was, you know, when I woke up, I kind of knew this because last night he put a TBD, like a to be decided plan, and I couldn't lie, I was a little bit just like worried, and I was kind of dreading today, you know, when I saw the fact that I had been, you know, bumped even lower in calories. We're literally only having 1,500 calories today, on top of training, on top of now added in cardio again, on top of sauna. So it's like, I'm glad that steps are low, but it's still just like having to complete all these things, knowing that like, hey, we're a week out, we should be kind of normally in a peak week, you want to be pulling back. But it's just like, we gotta get this last layer of water off, and see if we can get the weight down to where we can. And so, you know, just seeing that, like, man, I just was not, I guess, in the right headspace this morning. And, you know, I had to call my coach today, and just, we had a good talk, like mindset about, you know, mindset, but also just understanding, like, truly, you know, I think it's important to have an ego, in a sense, when you're like with anything you do. And this is kind of what we were talking about, was just because I think for some reason, like, I'm just like a person who sometimes struggles with, and if you're in a personal excellence space, like if you're in personal development, self-improvement, whatever it is, and trying to improve your mindset, trying to improve, like, you know, maybe you're trying to start a business, like whatever it is, right? You probably go through periods of this in your life where it's like you stack some wins and you're feeling all confident, and you mess up, and it almost feels like all that progress that you've had up to that point, like it could be like a year of progress and momentum that you've built has just like all went away. And, you know, with that happening like a couple times within this prep of just like feeling like I'm just not doing enough, or feeling like, you know, I'm messing up and I'm not, you know, keeping myself busy enough. And so I'm like just kind of getting in my own head, especially these last couple weeks. I kind of talked about that in my last video. I'm going to post, well, that last video should be coming out today, and then today's video should be coming out tomorrow. But so that would be Tuesday that this video comes out, which is being filmed on Monday. But like, it's just, it's demoralizing sometimes when you have those moments where it's like you mess up and you fail, and you just feel like you're not, like all that progress that you've made like just doesn't count because you have to start over. But just being able to rewire your brain and take a step outside and shift the perspective to, instead of like starting over as a bad thing, like, hey, it's a fresh state, a fresh slate, right? You get to you get to build on top of what you've already done. Like, it's fresh, right? That stuff that you've done, that work that you put in, the 2.5 years, the 5 years of grinding and building up all this momentum, that is not unaccounted for. Like, that counts. Like, and all that, it has meaning. That's gotten to this point. And so you have, if you ever struggle with this confidence where it just seems like, man, I just feel like I'm going back and forth, like it's fine, because we're all, it's part of the process. I'm just letting you know, like, if you ever struggle with that, like, I get it. Like, it's part of the process. We've, like, as successful people, like, people are trying to achieve success. Like, it's a part of the process, and you have to realize that. And that a lot of these people go, you know, a lot of people like that are trying to go for that success deal with this. And it's important to just be able to shift that perspective to, hey, instead of like a negative mindset, and instead of like, you know, putting yourself down and thinking about it and, you know, just continuously beating yourself up about it, change that perspective to like, hey, now you have a reason, instead of trying to punish yourself for this, like, redeem yourself. And that was what me and my coach talked about this morning. And that's the biggest thing, guys, is like this whole prep, I've just realized how, like, and I talk about this in the off season too, but how important mindset is in bodybuilding, you know? And so if you're ever doing, like, if you're doing your first bodybuilding show, if you're doing, you know, if you're getting into bodybuilding for the first time, realize how important mindset is, and how it's always important to just keep leveling up, and to keep, you know, people around you that like are honest with you, right? And aren't going to hype you up for, you know, or glaze you or hype you up for no reason, but also aren't going to like, are going to be able to be honest with you when you're holding yourself down, right? Because those people are so crucial to have in your life for when you go through those moments where you're just not confident, you don't believe in yourself, because they're going to show you and they're going to remind you the positive perspective, and to shift that perspective to realize how much you have done in the past to get to where you are. I hope that helps. But anyway, I'm going to get into the gym here. Like I said, we're planning on hitting legs. I don't know if I'm going to do much talking, but I'm just going to get in there. I truly think that this has been like a really big game-changing perspective for me the last couple of weeks. And just realizing, like, again, with these videos, I want to produce more of these videos and get back to what I truly love, because I think the biggest thing that's held me back over these last couple of weeks is just not doing enough to keep myself and my mind busy, to stop overthinking, because that's truly what it's come down to. And being able to keep myself busy is what's going to allow me to keep moving forward. And again, like I said, have that ego, and allow, like, what I mean by the ego is, like, know what you stand for, who you are, and the actions that represent that, right? Like, your actions should align with your goals, and like, have that confidence, right? Because there's a difference between confidence and arrogance, and ego. You need a little bit of that sometimes, because that's what's going to keep you going forward. Especially on those days that you just feel like it's a struggle to get out of bed. It's a struggle to get up and do that cardio, right? as a bodybuilder, or it's a struggle to have to do that huge task you got to cross off of the business. Because being able to have that ego and remembering who that person is, like who you are, like I'm that guy, like I am Will Hardy, like I have achieved all this stuff. I've built this business at started coaching at 19 years old. I am doing my first competition at 20 years old. I have a really, really solid physique, and I know that I'm not going to boast to everyone else about it, but I know myself, and I know that I'm capable of more. And so being able to tell yourself those things in these struggling times that you're going through, that's what's going to keep you going forward, as well as like aligning yourself with your goal, with your actions, and remembering your why. So I don't know, I'm just rambling on at this point, but I'm going to get in there and I'll take you guys through a couple sets. We got to get a little bit of cardio afterwards, a little bit of sauna. We'll see if I show that in these clips as well. But I'm gonna just kind of take you through this leg day. And maybe I'll film the rest of the day. We'll see. Maybe I'll do a day in the life. But it's gonna get interesting as the week goes on, and I'm excited. It's truly cool to just see all this work come to fruition. And I appreciate all you guys who do watch these videos, who are leaving comments, and supporting the journey. So I'll see you guys when we get in there. All right, hopefully this mic works and hopefully it can see me. Bro. All right, so we start with some lying hamstrings. Just gonna do a couple warm-ups and we'll get into some workings. All right, so I'm gonna go up to, if this can see me, I'm gonna go up to 110 for my working. I'm gonna do probably 3 to 4 RIR. So I'm gonna try to get close to that failure point, but not hitting that exactly. And it's not the usual weight that I'm used to because, again, I don't wanna let's say that I fail normally at like 8 to 10 reps at like 140 pounds or 130 pounds. I don't want to fail now at 4 reps, right? Or I don't want to stop the set at 4 reps. I want to just bump the weight down so I can get like 10 reps, but still have like 4 or 5 in the, like 3 to 4 in the tank still. And that's kind of how we'll approach these sets. All right, so honestly, I'm always gonna start with this to warm up. Actually really like that. I'm gonna put most of these on the middle actually. It's a little bit higher. All right, there we go. Trying to contemplate if I want to do one more warm up or if I'm going to just go up. I might honestly just go up to top because I'm feeling pretty warm. We'll go 7. Come on. Oh. Hey. All right, so that was a working, I say working, that was what a session looked like for me on this leg day for this peak week leg day. Probably had 3 more maybe by myself in that tank. Still pushing the upper limit there as far as I should go. But I have 3 sets here, so I'm gonna drop the weight off a little bit more the next 2. So I'll probably go to 6 plates. I definitely felt that in my knee a little bit. But that's why we're gonna drop down. Because it's not time for pushing all out intensity if we're gonna be increasing the risk way too much for, you know, before the show. So I'll drop this down and then we'll do 2 more sets here. Alright, so I'm gonna make sure you can see me. Alright, so I'll just tell one of my buddies that was bad. There's a couple different bathrooms here, and there's like the main one that's like right by the rest of the gym, and then there's like ones in the back. And we were just discussing how the ones in the back are like the ones that you're supposed to like reserve more for, just like if you gotta go number 2 in the middle of your workout, right, or before your workout. Like take a shit in that bathroom, not the one that's right by the weights, because it's gonna stink it up for everyone else who has to just like take a quick piss. So like that's the pissing bathroom, I would say, and the other ones like are the, anyway. I go in there, and I don't think I've ever smelled a bathroom that smelled that bad. So whoever was in there, like, I'm sorry, but that was messed up. Like, you got to get your gut fixed, bro. That was bad. But anyway, I'm gonna hit this next set. Got 2 more here.
I mean, that's my laptop was outside. The whole thing. The whole thing. They look like that were like acid. Oh, you've been gone. Wow. Oh, yeah.
All right. I'll probably keep the weight there. Honestly, that felt really good. I think I got 11 or 12 reps there. Still probably had about 3 left in the tank, 4 left in the tank. That was perfect. All right. I'm not gonna do a full stack here. I'm gonna probably just warm up 60, see how it feels. Probably just do 1 warm-up set because my hams are pretty warm. But I love this machine. It's probably one of my favorite ham curls is the Atlantis seated ham curl. I don't even bring this seat up more. Bring the weight up a little more as well. See what this feels like. Too far forward. It's the one thing about this machine, it's a little bit odd. Spend a little bit of time adjusting it to get the right setting because there's so many damn things to adjust. All right, let's try this. There we go. Yeah. Probably go up to like, try 120 out. See how that feels. But do 3 sets here, and then I'll wrap it up on the hip press with 2 sets. But coach just got here, so I just talked to him. Plan is after this, I think I told you guys, but we're doing some cardio and then a sauna. We're just trying to sweat all the fluids out. But I'm gonna I have this, it's like probably 85 degrees in here, probably 80, yeah, I'd say like 80 to 85 degrees in here. It's kind of hot. And like everyone else is wearing shorts and a t-shirt, but what I decided was I'm gonna just wear sweatpants and a hoodie, sweat a little bit more. Probably honestly just keep it on for the rest of the workout, including cardio and the sauna, just to get as much sweat going as possible. And like normally I wouldn't do this, but again, like we're in a prep setting. We're just trying to get the last bit of this water out. And it's not something I would usually do, but again, this specific situation, that's what we're trying to do. So let's get in this next set. All right. It's perfect. All right. So, we've just done 2 warm-up sets on this hip press. So what I started warming up with just like 3 plates on each side, and then went to 5. And what I usually do here for a top set is I'll do like 7 and then 8 plates, or like maybe 8 on each side if I'm like really feeling it. And that's for like a usual workout. But with this workout, like again, I'm aiming for that 10 to 15 rep range with 3 to 4 reps in reserve, excuse me. So we're gonna do 7 plates on this side, 6 on that side, and then it'll kind of be like a little decrease in weight, but it's gonna allow us to get close to that 10 rep range with that 3 to 4 reps in reserve. So that's what we're aiming for. Again, I'm just trying to keep the lower, as much of my quads as possible and off like joints and knees, off the joints like my knees. So really focusing on tempo here and trying to connect with the muscle. A good cue I have with any sort of leg, like pressing movement or squatting movement is just generally like think about pressing your big toe into the platform or the foot pad as you're like coming down, right? Because you're going to allow it, like when you think about driving that toe in, you're going to be resisting the weight there, and it's going to activate your quad better. So enough yapping. I'm going to get into the set. That was perfect.